On the 28th of October, 122 people, including 5 police, were killed in what would become the deadliest police operation in Brazilian history. Operation Containment was launched by police to attack one of Brazil's most powerful organised crime groups, the Red Command. Founded in the 1970s, it's now Rio's largest drug trafficking organisation, controlling low-income favelas across the city and employing thousands of people all around Brazil. Police say the aim of the operation was to arrest gang members, including their most important target, the local drug boss known as the Bear. The official narrative about the operation is that every single one of the 117 people shot by police was a drug trafficker. But we discovered that at least one of them was not a drug trafficker. He was a bricklayer who was shot as he made his way home. Another of the people killed was a 14-year-old who had only been involved in the Red Command for a few months. And actually none of the 117 people who were killed had their names on the list of arrest warrants that justified the operation. This is far from a complete picture of what happened, and a great deal of evidence has yet to emerge. But using testimony, official reports, cross-referencing and geolocating photos and videos from the 28th of October, plus following a WhatsApp conversation between one of the killed gang members and his mother, this is the fullest account to date of what happened that day. In the very early hours of the morning, 2,500 police officers and special forces are preparing to storm the Complexo da Penha. This patchwork of 13 favelas in North Rio is home to about 100,000 people and is said to be the main base for the Red Command in Rio. Shortly after 4 a.m, as police begin their advance, Red Command members set barricades and cars on fire. As the police advance deeper into the Complexo da Penha, its drug traffickers melt into the forest above the community, an area of scrub called vacaria, in order to escape. Their clothing is almost identical to the clothing worn by police. But what the gang members don't realise is that scores of Special Force police officers, known as skulls, lie in wait in the forest, having hiked up the mountain from the other side.
A nossa missão era só fazer aquele muro lá em cima e não deixar que esses bandidos fugissem. Só que às vezes também nem sempre as coisas elas acontecem como a gente imagina.
Near a cluster of shacks, known as the Promised Land, police officers encounter a group of traffickers and come under fire. One sergeant is shot in the leg. Minutes later, another group of police officers come under fire as they're chasing a group of traffickers into Vacaria. Police officers are pinned down by the gunfire. Special forces come in to support them. One skull later testifies to the public prosecutor's office. It stopped being an operation to execute warrants and became a full-scale rescue mission. And as police and traffickers exchange fire elsewhere, one officer, Lieutenant Kelly, and her squad reach a hard-to-access part of the Complexo da Penha. This is where the main hideout of the drug boss is thought to be located, and it's known as the Bear's Lair. Lieutenant Kelly and her team join a shootout, a mission to rescue a detective from another patrol.
Ficou, sei lá, 1 hora nessa trocação. Muito tempo, eu falo, meu Deus, cara, isso aqui não vai acabar.
At 9:40 a.m, right next to the Bear's Lair, a large group of Red Command traffickers have taken a group of residents hostage. The police arrive to negotiate, but they're outnumbered. 14 officers to 25 drug traffickers. But the gang is unaware of the advantage and surrender.
Mano, ó, a tia tá filmando aí, nós vai descer. Qual é, rapaziada? Um atrás do outro, ninguém por nada.
Se eles percebessem que eles poderiam estar em alguma, vantagem, o cenário poderia mudar.
we still know very little about what happened in the forest between 4:30 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Só escutou, assim, gritarias, mas não tinha visão. Justamente que é um mato muito fechado, né? A gente só ouviu os tiros. Aí já ferrou tudo.
As the operation unfolds, the mothers, wives, girlfriends and sisters gather at a residents' association at the foot of the favela, desperately seeking news of their loved ones.
A gente não quer deixar a gente passar. Eu quero pegar meu filho. Eu quero buscar meu filho!
When the police start to leave, family members move up into that scrub and start searching for bodies. My colleague, the photographer Alan Lima, is one of the first to arrive on the scene. I arrive outside the Residents' Association on St. Luke's Square at about 4 a.m, and already there are dozens of bodies that have been brought there from the forest above. This is Tauan Brito after she finds her son.
Quantas mães mais vão chorar? Quantas mães mais vão lá dentro procurar o corpo dos filhos no mato? Gente, pelo amor de Deus, sabe? Eu tô cansada, eu só quero enterrar o meu filho.
A fortnight after the operation, I returned to the Complexo da Penha with my colleague Alain. And in many ways, it was as if the operation had never happened. The gunmen were back, the drugs were still on sale, and the barricades had been rebuilt. And although immediately after the operation, there was widespread public support for the killing.
Na batalha de ontem, as polícias saíram vitoriosas, tirando, repito, as nossas 4 vítimas, que foram os 4 policiais mortos. O resto foram criminosos. Não era a intenção de ninguém. Queríamos ter prendido todos com vida.
There is also real anger, particularly within the favela. One of those we spoke to is the president of the Residents' Association.
Quando vai acabar essa guerra?
Nunca. Isso é uma guerra infinita. Você mata 100 do tráfico, aparece mais 100 amanhã. Né? Você morre 4 policiais hoje, amanhã já tem mais 4 no lugar dos 4 que morreram. Não vai acabar nunca.